that out of there.
I mean, there's only one place to be, and it's right here.
Guys don't produce good enough content.
Enough of that crap.
No talking.
What does this mean? Don't quote me on that.
Don't we do a practice run first?
No.
Oh, baby. Yes, we are missing that.
Don't give those idiots
At the esports show.
any information.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the esports show. We're coming at you with episode 21, now with Bryce. A shout out to Michael Carmody from Legacy. It is his birthday today, amongst many other esports birthdays this week. But we have to shout him out because otherwise the show wouldn't have had its Rice name. My name is Matthew Judge Brand. I'm joined by Terry Badger O'Neill and Andrew Ray from Snowball Esports, who comes on to fill the shoes of a member that's no longer with us.
No, rest in pepperoni.
Rest in Pepe for Lewis Tibor Gratz. Pepe being something we'll talk about later on the show. And the show is going to be a little bit different this week because normally Lewis does all the preparation. He's still done that, but that also means normally he's done the preparation so he knows what the heck we're talking about. So this week is very much welcome to the esports show where the host is stupid and the stories don't matter.
That's what I was briefed on, it's all good.
Yeah,
Yes.
Andrew.
Look, we gave you a good brief. It's all right. Stop complaining.
That's right. Look, he's had more of a brief than I have. So as I host the show, let's talk about you, my friend. You run, own, operate Snowball Esports, who were a competitor for the most prestigious media coverage award that this region's ever seen for esports recently. And tell us a little bit about Snowball and what your plans are.
Yeah, cool. So at the moment, we're just Oceanic League of Legends content site at the moment. So we just basically produce weekly content like MVPs, power rankings, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And also I do a bi-weekly sort of like a Pick 6 article at the moment where we interview members within the Oceanic community. So we've done Aniro from the Echo Fox head coach. We've also done players like Claire.
Yep.
So yeah, just like give them 5 questions and also tell them in a certain scenario who would you pick in your team. So,
yeah.
it's a fun bit serious. But yeah, so that's what we do some Oceanic content at the moment. We are looking to branch out to other esports potentially and all that. But yeah, we've been about for about the start of December.
Yeah.
Started off with a roster tracking document.
I saw that.
And then, that's where we are now. So going
Fantastic.
strong.
And you've basically been the source of all of our League of Legends.
I'm not going to dispute that.
Put on this show
I'm
to
glad we
pretend
can
we're
help.
credible. So
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you for writing our League of Legends content for us.
I just take each paragraph and then swap them around so it looks like broken English.
Yeah, that's
My writing.
That's so that's how it works out to be completely perfect English. Right, cool.
That's right.
I just thought I was good, but
we do need to have a shout out to 50% of our viewership tonight being maintained by the one person. It's Dash and the Avant Gaming channel. So well done to us. We've got a star-studded lineup of viewers. But I think this is a good time to push in. Let's start with things that you're both familiar with. With the OPL, we've got the Gauntlet coming up, and
Yes.
we've also got Week 9 results that we can show you. Let's bring those up. Here's the Week 9 results. Oh, look at that crisp snap
good
to,
lord.
To the results. Terry, start us off. Talk about what we're seeing here on the screen.
All right, let's chat about Saturday. Legacy Esports taking on Bombers. That was no real surprise. Same with the following results. Direwolves, Avant Gaming 2-0. Chiefs Esports Club going down to Order, which I was so disappointed with because I hate Order so very much just because they exist. And Tectonic picking up one game against Sin Gaming, but unfortunately going down 2-1 to Sin. So yeah, so let's segue over to the standings. Andrew, would you like to take us away on this one?
Yeah, so Direwolves have found themselves undefeated for the year. They did say that they were a little bit disappointed with their year, having dropped a couple games in their series.
And yet, still going undefeated.
But in the series, they've got the 10 wins for the series, so I think they should be pretty happy with that. They've also got themselves the guaranteed grand final, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the Chiefs have got themselves in second place, so they'll have to play the winner of whoever gets through the gauntlet. And yeah, Order third. Legacy find themselves in fourth, and once again Avant for the third split running and now fifth place, which actually does cost them their side advantage in the first set of the gauntlet. So it's a big talking point for them.
Yep.
So having a look here at the Gauntlet then, guys, this is what we're looking at. Andrew, talk about how the Gauntlet actually works for those that aren't familiar with it.
Sure. So it starts from fourth versus fifth, with fourth getting side selection of the. So they basically get to pick one extra side selection map. And then obviously the winner of that will then play Order, with Order having the side preference. And then obviously the winner of that then plays the Chiefs. And obviously that happens all this weekend. And then next week, the winner of the entire set of games from this weekend will play Direwolves the week after in the grand final.
Right.
And obviously they get to go to the MSI qualifiers, which is pretty special.
Very special. So, how long have we had a gauntlet system in the OPL?
I believe it was introduced last year. Before that, we had the two standard 4 teams progress semi-final sort of format.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited about this gauntlet. Actually, I think the two bottom, like the 4th and 5th, they may not win it. They can definitely cause some serious upsets, as we've seen through the year. So
I mean, we saw Sin have one hell of a gauntlet run previously,
exactly.
so it's kind of
I
expecting a similar thing here.
Yeah, I would expect something very similar. So yeah, it should be a cracker of a weekend for League of Legends esports.
Awesome. Well, guys, make sure you tune in, of course, to the gauntlet, which is going to be amazing. We'll try and provide adequate coverage, most likely by stealing Andrew and Loltai's work after the gauntlet's done. I do have to apologise because I've insulted one of our dedicated fans.
Which one?
Because it's not Dash on both Twitch accounts. Giles is actually on the Avant account. And as our most dedicated fan, thank you. Even the unsung hero of esports in our region is applauding you, Giles. So
we need to get past that.
we're not getting past that. We're going to milk that until the next award, all right? There's no date on his award, man. He's always the unsung hero of our hearts. He's going for the global unsung hero. He's coming to a new region near you.
Please go to
Moving
NA.
on. Let's talk about PUBG. We've had the
Why not?
CGI PUBG season start up.
Yeah, the most esports ready game ever
It
made.
is, absolutely.
Ever.
So
No
much
bugs.
so that I actually invested time in making an esports ready emote for my own Twitch channel, which is basically non-existent.
It doesn't
So-
exist anymore.
No, no one watches it, so
it's just-
no one streams on it either.
Some people don't watch it, it's just that you're like, that old thing.
But there's been plenty of coverage across the internet about PUBG and Fortnite going onto mobile. While that's not the topic of this discussion,
Yeah, we'll talk
there's
about that
been a lot of
another show.
moves. That's
That's
mobile esports ready.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about Tender Minds because they're over in Romania.
They are.
We've just had Atletico come back from the Ukraine.
Yes.
And they played in theirs. Now, we wanted to, first off, just point something out here.
Our imagologist has worked hard on this.
Yeah, graphicologist, who is currently not here, did some great work and some debunking. And we wanted to clarify. Joshy, who's on the Tainted PUBG, is the captain for the Tainted team.
Yes.
He, as most players do when they're abroad, listed a flag in their name.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he's listed the flag of Chad, which is, as you can see on the far right there,
It's just around the
geographically
corner.
different to...
It's just around the corner.
just around the corner.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
look.
pretty sure all this yellowy cream colour is nothing but sand, whereas Romania is covered in green foliage.
Yeah, look, so the key difference here is the colour of the red in the flag. You can quite clearly see that Romania's
Romania?
is blue, Romania, wow, is blue, yellow and red.
Yes.
Whereas Chad is quite clearly blue, yellow and off red. It's a common mistake to make. I make it frequently, don't you? Chad and
I
Romania.
never think about Chad and Romania, to be completely honest.
But-
This is the first time in 8 months I've thought about Romania and Chad.
In 8 months.
In 8 months.
Do I want to know why you're thinking about Romania previously?
Thought about moving,
Yeah?
running away.
No, you
Which
watched.
one?
You watched that. You
Why
watched.
not both?
You watched
Chad
that,
for winter and Romania for the summer. I mean, come on.
It was that video, that comedian, the shirtless comedian, that talks about his adventures in Russia. That's what made you think of the Ukraine, wasn't it? I'm the machine. That one.
What videos are you watching, man?
Lewis posted a GIF of it.
What are you and Lewis doing in your off time, man?
No, we're not going to go into that.
Jesus.
But here we go. Let's have a look. We've had some amazing coverage from.
Because
the
as you
boys.
would, like it's minus 5 degrees, I'm not going to check the weather of the place I'm going, especially in Eastern European continent where it gets snowing. I'm just going to rock up in shorts,
The thing with-
t-shirts and thongs. I'm
with
assuming it's
Benny here
thongs.
though as well. If you've watched his stream, he streams like traps up,
Yeah.
shirtless.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
you know,
it's him.
it's only, this is probably the most clothed you'll ever actually see him.
So what you're saying is he might have been acclimatized for the weather.
Yeah, he was prepared. He was like every Twitch stream from Benji there was he's getting ready. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to be cold in Australia, and then I'll be good to go. But that will be starting tonight. So here is having a look at who's been invited.
Yeah.
Groovy not having a logo, they're stuck with a tier 3 helmet. Obviously a good investment.
I mean, that is possibly the best investment you can get in PUBG, but $100,000 US as well. prize
Yeah.
pool for across that. So what have we got? We've got. I had it all broken down as well, but it starts at 11 o'clock tonight over 4 nights.
Yes.
So as we saw, 16 teams going for that $100,000 prize pool. So
Lovely.
It's very exciting. I had the prize breakdown somewhere, but no, it's not there. So no. I
And
can't
once
give you the breakdown.
again, this is the esports show where the host is stupid and the news doesn't matter.
But the supplements are delicious.
Moving on though, my friends. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, watch the PGL PUBG. Star Series Star Ladder was amazing with their production.
Oh yes.
And from all of the content we're seeing coming out of Josh as well as Hutto, I'm expecting PGL is going to be brilliant.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be great fun,
cold, but amazing.
It wouldn't be as cold if you wore a jumper.
Or pants.
Pants are always
Benju,
optional.
pants.
Pants are always optional. Don't listen to him.
And Benny in the chat, if it's not mobile PUBG, I'm not watching. Look,
Fair.
with
Fair
you, the
point.
UI's even the UI's
Fair.
better on the mobile version than the PC.
You probably connect more regularly as well.
Bringing it back home though, let's talk about Cybergamer.
Really? Do we need to?
We do it plenty.
Okay, that's fair.
Having a look here, we're speeding through the content tonight, guys, so be
Quick
prepared.
show. Quick show's a good
Quick
show.
This is what happens when we get rid of this would be palatable as a podcast compared to what actually happens most weeks.
Yes.
But we've got CSGO that we're having a look at here. We have one more week of the Cybergamer Premier League for autumn 2018 to be played out. Current standings are as such. There's only a couple of games left to be played, some catch-ups for Greyhound, as they also have to go up against Chiefs. They will be fighting for the top spot to come into the LAN regarding seeding
yeah,
and how that'll
okay.
play out.
Yes.
And then Corvidae pretty secure in there. It's still left between Dark-Sided, Auglis, and Taboo actually has a chance of making it
I
if
hope
things
they
play
do.
perfectly. But with the way that Dark-Sided's been playing, I don't think that's going to happen. So
So you have no faith in Taboo, is what you're saying?
I have plenty of faith in Taboo.
But if you're a betting man,
I would not put a bet on them right now. The odds are stacked against them. So make sure you watch Monday and Tuesday night from 7 o'clock Australian Eastern, or 7 p.m.
that's
I
on
should
the
say.
CG main channel.
CGTV_CSGO.
CSGO.
Yes.
Cool.
So make sure you have a suss of that. It will be some fierce competition. Of course, we've also got all of the games that are on CG. That is a list right there of all of the titles currently being played on Cybergamer on your left.
It's amazing.
Get involved in them. There are free ladders, open ladders,
And one of
weekend
those games
tournaments.
you'll be able to take me on as well.
Yes, they will. PUBG solos,
Sign up
prepare for Terry.
Yes.
But also
If I
you've
can
got-
navigate the webpage. Sorry.
We've got the Street Fighter V Arcade Edition
Yes.
event coming down to the CG studios with Somniac skillfully pointing out exactly where the Street Fighter logo was announced.
Fantastic.
That is a 10k prize pool paid to the top 3,
Yes.
split 5-3-2000.
yes.
And that is happening 1 week after CGPL CSGO. So we've got the first weekend of April
Yep.
being Easter long weekend.
Yes.
We've got the second weekend of April is
Yes.
CSGO.
Yes.
Third weekend is Street Fighter.
Now, was that the one that we were just, was mentioned that is open to the APAC region?
It is open to the APAC region, so Asia Pacific can participate.
So good.
Tickets are available online. Just head over to cybergamer.com.au and you'll be able to find the ticketing from there. Same with the CGPL for viewership, of
Yep.
course. We have competing tickets, competitive tickets for Street Fighter, because anyone that rocks up can compete. So bring your competition equipment, however you play the game for Street Fighter. Make sure you bring that along with a ticket and just be at the studios for the event.
Yes.
But there's a whole heap going on Cybergamer.
So much.
So much. Jeez.
Way too
There
much.
is also Australian Esports Masters coming through. Yay, AEM.
Never
It's an
stops.
award-winning tournament.
It is almost. Was it voted by the community?
It
one?
was.
That was. It was a community tournament.
And people are going to get sick of
Which
us.
we were just. I was actually quite surprised, actually, to be honest.
Looking here, it is, of course, being held at the LAN address of the Cybergamer Studios, 10 Lagunta Avenue, Edwardstown in South Australia. The LAN date is Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, so this weekend, as in tomorrow night. It's free entry for all spectators, so just come down and have a suss.
Yep.
All players and teams need to bring the following gear to AEM, which isn't listed, but they know what they're bringing because they're competing.
Yes.
Important to note, let's bring that graphic back up again, thank you. Group A is Law 1, 2, 3, which was
No, is Legacy now.
is Legacy now.
Yeah, they just got picked up by Legacy. Yep.
Downfall, Control, and Riot. And Group B is Taboo Team Streamline, which is interesting that Streamline servers, a server hosting provider, actually have a sponsored team, as well as Ground Zero and MC Esports. So they'll all be coming here to LAN over this weekend to compete for their share of a $9,000 prize pool.
I do like. I like AM. It's nice seeing different teams instead of like your typical Chiefs AV.
It is.
That's nice. It's good seeing different
I've got to
ones.
give Sangy some credit, Chief Sangy or Frank, that owns Chiefs
He's-
Esports Club. He had a really good tweet this week. We don't have an image of it, but scroll through his tweets
That's
and you'll
Lewis's
find
fault.
it.
That's fine.
Bloody Lewis. But he mentioned that one of the brilliant things about AEM and AOC's activation with it is all of these players coming to a LAN event, normally they never make one. Like, it is a grassroots event. They're not going to your
It's almost
CGPL
like
LAN,
what,
right?
what the community needs.
It's
funny that.
So, looking at that,
Yeah.
they all get photos done while they're here.
Yeah.
And
Levels them up.
AOC, as one of the sponsors,
Yes.
all the photos are normally taken while the players competing on stage. They want those
Yeah.
action shots of them behind the
Yes.
computer focusing, right?
Yeah.
Well, the AOC monitors are in almost every shot, and the AOC
Yep.
branding's in the background of most
Yep.
of them as well.
Yep.
So Frank pointed out what a great marketing tool that is as,
Yep.
for AOC, because
100%.
oh, look at that, well done. Wonders for AOC Gaming, because yeah, every Div 2 CSGO player has her as their display picture now.
Yeah.
So you look at, we've got 8 teams of 5
Yeah.
coming down here, 40 players
Yeah.
that are essentially going to get a display profile update. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So
It's also
just a
great.
nice little aside.
Oh, it's great. Look, great training ground as well, because coming to LAN is very different to competing, say, in the competition, because you're either at home or with the team in an isolated room.
Yeah.
Here,
Absolutely.
you may or may not have a crowd, doesn't matter, but you're still on a stage exposed.
Yeah.
Plus, there's like a bit of media training with the photos, interviews with you, or when Tibor is here,
Yeah.
and other casters and stuff. It's a very different environment, and you get desensitized.
It's
or
like that's
not
it's the
desensitized,
stepping
but
stone.
yeah,
Because
a learning
it's
curve.
obviously not going to be like you're playing at IEM Sydney 2018.
No.
Obviously. But
different.
If it was, that'd be damn cool.
Be good.
But it is that stepping stone. You're not playing online. You are playing at a LAN.
Yeah.
You get that opportunity. So
Yeah.
Play under
make
the
sure.
lights.
Yeah, actual lights that
Actual
are
lights.
warm and making us sweat right now. Make sure you tune in. The AEM stream will, I assume, that's going to be on CGTV CSGO. Yep. Thank you, Steve.
Confirmed.
So you can tune in. Other streamers will be covering the Friday night games because honestly, there's going to be so much going on. Cyber Game is not. Mac Daddy and I believe Manic Monday are going to be covering those. So make sure you tune into their streams. I don't have a link for them right now, but if you just jump on Twitter, you'll be able to find them, or someone might have them in the chat for me. Other than that, though, make sure you tune into the stream, or if you're in Adelaide, come and watch. Free entry. Just rock up to the CG Studios, take a photo on top of the massive Origin PC tank that we've got here, and go home with something to remember.
A picture of a tank is actually probably the thing you're going to take away that is the best.
Yeah.
You might find
A picture of a tank and a picture of Steve shirtless or in a dressing gown, or both. That's what you've got to look forward to.
the shirtless ones do cost $5. We've got to fund AM somehow.
That's right. Thank you, Peckett, for getting Manic's Twitch in the chat. And
Awesome.
we'll move on because we're actually doing all right for time. Having a look here, ladies and gentlemen, is the LPL semi-final. It's Tainted Minds versus Corvidae.
Yes.
In New Zealand on LAN at the studios.
Yes.
LPL studios in the Sky Tower. That should be playing out now. It's a mini gauntlet between
Yes.
the 3 of them.
Yes, it is.
So Tainted and Corvidae will play it out. Okay, it's been updated.
no,
Tainted
so it's-
Minds wrecked Corvidae. So it's going to be Tainted against Greyhound next Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday. And it'll be a best of 3. First is walking away with 3,650. Second, 2,190, and third, $1,460. So
Okay, not
bit
bad.
of a weird prize pool, but okay.
Hey, look, New Zealanders getting involved in hosting esports events to the wider ANZ region. Okay.
Oh no, I've got no problem with this. Just I'm so glad we have like just memes on tap.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
I just hate how you say
I
mems.
was about to say, did you say mems?
He said mems.
I do say memes
He's
because I'm a grown-ass man with a beard. When you can have a beard, you can pronounce it any way you want.
he's not wrong.
Isn't he?
So you have a guest on and they leave just so. This is such good training for guests. Like they come in like all happy and pure. They leave with so much sass,
Yeah.
just hatred for the world.
Before we even started the show, Andrew was dropping fire. So
it was.
look out! Look out! Snowball Esports next publishing is going to be filled with some sass. I'm feeling it.
Oh, just,
But looks good for LPL. More CS:GO though.
Because
the
why not?
CS:GO and Dota 2 champs for ESL. It's all looking good. Plenty underway. We talked about them previously.
what
but
format?
oh God, don't question me on
No,
this.
as in like what? Twitch or?
Well, that's the thing I'm about to announce because Australia actually has ESL Pro League now.
Yes.
And we've been seeing those games play out
Yes.
Or you might have seen those games play out, depending on how good Facebook is to actually watch them on. Some people reporting that it's been great. Some people reporting that it has been abysmal and it's like watching a 1950s film that just goes frame by frame. Or, as Steve says, it's like watching Avant playing in the Cyber Gamer Premier League for CSGO.
It's that time of the show, boys and girls, where we trash talk AV.
Now,
Dash, leave the channel.
we've talked a lot about Facebook deals on this.
Yes.
A lot. We've talked about whether it's a good move, the reasons behind it, and I think it's going to come. Again, it's the topic of, do we like Facebook as a streaming platform,
No.
and do we like it as a business move? Andrew,
No.
you're a guest on the show. We haven't heard you talk about this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I can understand why Facebook want to get involved. Obviously, to them, it's about just getting more reasons to stay on their platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, the big thing is it's like accessibility to it. So, for example, I'm not a huge CS:GO guy, but if I saw it on my feed, I'd probably watch it. As far as I can tell, that didn't happen. I'm not sure if that's how it actually functions. So, whereas Twitch, obviously, I go to the front page, it's probably going to be there. Or if I'm just browsing through the games, I'll say, why is there heaps of views on CS:GO? Probably tournament on. Let's check it out. So that to me is like the big point. Is like the accessibility of watching content on Facebook is kind of dire.
Yeah, I think it's something we've mentioned before, Terry, that we don't have a problem with changing platforms because it's part of selling media rights.
Yeah,
But
no, I agree, yeah.
that's how we're going to make money in the long run in esports,
But
and
it
how we're
has
going
to
to
be a
generate
positive
revenue.
change, though.
The problem is, the viewership.
It's
It
like going
was
from
a
a
problem
hybrid
with.
back to like a 1950s combustion engine car.
It's the problem that came
not
up with
designed for
ESL
that.
Genting when we talked about that and
Yep.
why DMCAs were being popped out
Yes.
against streamers on Twitch.
Yep.
Falsely, might
Yes,
I add.
yes.
It's a big deal. So I think moving forward,
Yeah.
if Facebook could improve the functionality that they've got, they don't have to replicate Twitch. It
No,
just needs to be a
it-
good user experience.
It just doesn't have to be like as flashy as Twitch with all the chat, like all the tabs, and just make it, just get the basics right.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
get
like,
the rest of it right.
Twitter live streaming, when you have access, like some sports have access to
Yeah,
Twitter
yeah.
live streaming,
Yeah.
that's actually quite
goes
good
okay.
to watch.
It goes fine.
It's
It's not
clear.
painful to watch.
I see it on the right-hand side. Whenever I refresh my news feed, it pulls me straight back up on my
Yeah.
timeline, and boom, there's the feed there again,
Yeah.
because that's the thing being streamed today.
Yes.
And that's good. It's
Yep.
functional, and
Yep.
I think that's all most people are requesting.
Just
So
make it work. It's hard, but not hard.
yeah,
Not asking for much, but it probably is tricky.
probably is tricky.
I'm not a software engineer, I wouldn't know, but just make it work.
Throwback to what when we were talking about LPL, Voltrus from Tainer Mines has said, must say that LPL have done a great job of looking after the players at the event. Drivers have been picking them up.
Oh,
Food
beautiful.
budget and 24/7 access to the studio for practice. So
Oh, that's good.
That is good.
That's
That is good.
fantastic,
That's a good
actually. That's
setup.
really
So it's part of an ongoing discussion between players, TOs, and clubs about what's included in events.
Yeah,
You know, okay,
it's a discussion that has
we
to
help
happen,
you
but
with this, and
It's actually nice to find that out as well.
yeah,
Like,
well,
'cause
it's
as
nice.
like a non-endemic viewer, it's nice to actually find out the team's actually being looked after, not like this
Well,
big overlord.
Not
bloody
only
TO.
that, you're not going to know that unless
good.
someone says something.
Yeah.
It's not like they advertised as part of their announcement, hey guys, make sure you qualify, because if you come over, we're going to have drivers and food budgets for the teams that get here.
That actually might be more of an incentive as well to get more teams signed up as well, to be honest.
It might be, but that's the thing, is it's those auxiliary expenses
Yeah,
that the
so-
club
yeah.
are having to worry about.
Yeah.
So that's good. Thanks, Valtris,
That's
for giving
good.
us an
Thank
update.
you.
Appreciate it. Team Down TV wanted to chat because Steve's brought that in here, so that's scary. But moving on, let's change games to something not CSGO related. Overwatch Contenders has been going on, and we've got the bracket or the standings here for you. Contenders played out into two groups. You've got Group A and Group B. In Group A, Blank Blue, which is their second team, is currently leading tied with Darksided.
Yes.
Serenity and Legacy carrying third and fourth. Kanga and Tainted are at the bottom there, with Tainted on -8 points. For Group B, the Sydney Drop Bears, as expected, a name that I still loathe but understand, is at the top, with Masterminds and Jam following up. The Knock Predators, Alter Ego, and Surge coming through at the bottom.
Yeah.
Overwatch Contenders has been great. It's been good to see it come to the region.
Yes, finally.
Another thing we probably should have prepared was a copy of a tweet that went out about Elfish today, where
Hey,
in
Steve.
the official Discord, he said that if Surge win a series, he
Yes.
will dab live on stream. That is what it'll take to get him to do that. So, don't think it's going to happen.
No, but great to see though.
Great incentives coming
It'll be
through
good
for the teams
incentive.
to win. Oh my God, Avant, Jesus. They have a Maxibon emote in the chat, and I don't think I've ever seen anything more glorious, but also horrifying at the same time.
I know it's like a car crash.
It's
It's
like I'm eating calories by looking at Twitch chat. While Overwatch Contenders has been great for the local scene, and we've been enjoying it, there's been some discussion about the Overwatch League and this poor frog.
For God's
the
sakes.
Overwatch League have banned the players in any social media from using Pepe the Frog. No memes in Twitch chat, nothing on Twitter, because it's, and like,
Who is it offensive to now?
it is
So, sorry, I'm not. What was the actual reason given? Was there one?
not, I haven't read the reasoning, I've been informed by Lewis.
Yeah.
The long story short, it's because Pepe the Frog is culturally inappropriate.
The French?
Towards, yeah, well, it's a question of whether it's, I think it's actually to the Hispanic demographic.
Aha.
I think. So,
So a member
Lewis will
has
be able to clarify in chat as well when this comes up. But that's,
Okay.
the Overwatch League's banned it. It's an offensive emote, it's an offensive meme. They're
You're
not to
shitting
use
me.
it anymore.
So they have a player who's I'm thinking has now been dropped from his team, call someone a retard and a fag, live on stream, doesn't really take offence to that and takes their time banning it. This, they insta-ban.
Yeah. I can
Good job,
understand.
Wizard.
I can understand why. Absolutely, I can
I-
understand why. And regardless of what you think of it,
Yeah.
in today's
absolutely.
culture, that it's a
That's-
business
Everyone
move.
has
It
a
makes
right to be
sense.
offended at something, that's fine. But
Andrew,
And
your
it is,
thoughts?
it is a global brand at the end of the day as well, which is something we have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, in the Aussie culture, we might not understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the end of the day, as you said, it's a global league, so
Yeah.
I can understand why they're a bit tentative on it. But it's, geez,
it's a bit
it's a
much.
bit, it does seem a bit oversensitive.
Yeah, I think I follow kind of in your thought process here, Terry, in that the Overwatch League has had problems that took some time to deal with,
Oh, yes.
took extended periods to deal with, and there was even arguments made to defend people that were making these mistakes and being homophobic or whatever. But then this happens and it's come out, it just seemed a little onerous.
Yes.
I
agree.
T-Ball's quote in the chat, originally a cartoon character created by artist Matt Fury, Pepe was appropriated by the alt-right in 2015. The Anti-Defamation League, a United States-based civil rights group, added Pepe to its database of hate symbols in 2016, with the caveat that not all uses of the meme are used for hate. So under that caveat, they've gone,
Okay.
not all uses of the meme are used for hate, but just in case, no one should use it. So,
Then maybe you should gaffer tape your competitor's mouth shut as well.
regardless, stay up to date for more memes on
not
the
for
Overwatch
Overwatch.
League. Yeah, that's it. As we have a look though, there is to be no accidental bumping either. Now, honestly, and someone please, because for the life of me, I couldn't work out if this was satire or not.
It's
Yeah,
not.
I was saying, do we actually know? Is that a...
As far as I'm aware, it's not satire.
It's not satire. It's just,
But a statement from the head coach, David Pay from Gladiators, during halftime, you can read it there. Yesterday during the Outlaws match, I inadvertently bumped into two of the Outlaws players. Now, when I first read this, I thought it was like, backstage, he's like, oh, hey guys, you know, like bumped into him as in, oh, we stumbled across each other.
Yeah.
Not that he physically hadn't been watching where he was going, distracted thinking about what to say, ready for the next map on Kings Row, and physically bumped them. Now, I don't imagine that David's running through the back halls, preoccupied about Kings Row, going, oh, how are we going to cap that point and move the payload, and hip and shouldered someone into a wall.
But the thing is, are we really surprised that someone, I'm assuming someone from the Outlaws, like, complained about this?
I don't even know.
But the
This
intelligence
seems
that it'll
preemptive.
take, see, for me, the intelligence it would take to make that complaint is the same sort of intelligence you'd run with having the name Outlaws and then claiming to be the new sheriffs in town.
Yeah, that's the thing. So,
That's- go be offended by something that's offensive.
I
or
mean,
be upset about something that's you can get upset
Andrew,
about.
how are you feeling about this, man? Like,
I
are
mean,
you
I think-
insulted
I think
by
the
bumps?
biggest thing about it was like, okay, so sure, he could have like clobbered him, but I think that still doesn't really matter too much because what it sounded like was an inadvertent bump, and that's
Yeah.
the consensus.
Yep.
At the end of the day, though, like, why'd it have to be a public release? Like,
Yeah.
like, if the guy was genuinely upset,
Yeah.
which he might have been, I don't know about it, But just talk, like, could have just said a word in private, and then we wouldn't have this debacle.
Make a phone call to Outlaws and go,
Send a fruit basket.
Can you guys put these two on the phone? Like, I bumped into them yesterday, accidentally,
make sure
wasn't
he's
where
not-
I was
yeah.
going. Want to make sure they're okay. Like, I apologise there. You know.
Just, public statement just seems bizarre, and it just looks bad. Like, I just think it looks
It does.
strange.
It looks bad. It looks. Yeah. It makes it look
Yeah, I think
worse than it
strange
is.
is the right way to put it.
Yeah.
And yeah, worse than it is because, I mean, obviously we weren't there. T-ball hashtag shirt fronting. Jumper punches in the hallways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't have been that bad. He would have been looking at notes as he's walking, and
Yeah.
that's...
Yeah. It's not.
I get it. He probably hit him. He's like, oh my god, like probably look like a bit of a dick, but like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, public statement.
Public
jeez.
statement. Look, it's what we need to be doing,
Yes.
guys, is making these apologies. But moving on.
Twitlongers.
3 twitlongers to
No,
address
we don't need
not
that.
only the public, but also the two players individually. Moving to Throwdown. Week 1 is finished of the RLCS qualifiers for OCE, and we've had an update on the format as well. You can have a look at the standings here while we have a chat. But
Oh yeah.
okay, there hasn't been much of a format change because Lewis is fact-checking later. So, but at the moment, Legacy and Darksided sitting at the top,
Yes.
with Chiefs actually sitting 4th at the moment. They've
only played one game, though.
That's right. So as that catches up, we'll see how that goes. The Week 1 matches Chiefs 3-2 over Love Decks, with Darksided pulling up wins over 2. Legacy got 2 as well against Retirement Home. And then Tainer Mines lost to Jam,
Yeah.
which I thought was interesting.
I'd agree with you, but I just don't watch Rocket League.
So just agree with me.
I'll agree with a lawyer on this one. I will refer to my learned colleague.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be Andrew on the desk because I am not learned. But make sure you tune in Sundays at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. You can watch the Throwdown RLCS OCE qualifiers. The top 2, as far as I'm aware, are heading over to compete in RLCS
Yes.
for the world event.
Yes.
Having a look here, though, we had a debate.
Oh, God.
And Lewis has been taking his time to do a lot more social media content, as you might have seen on the Esports Show Twitter. Some of it
bless him.
accepted well by the public, some of it with a lot of scrutiny internally and from the public. But he asked the question, as we mentioned closing the show, in OCE's location, is OCE's location, population size, and or internet infrastructure a reasonable excuse for limited international success? Andrew, your thoughts? Because 48% think that's an excuse.
Kinda. I think, like, to a degree, yes. Like, I guess in esports, we are on an island. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
like, connecting to another
We're in
continent.
top lane.
Yeah, we're in top lane, League of Legends. We can't go practice with a Korean team unless we physically move ourselves there.
Or put up with 650 ping.
like that. So
Which, yeah.
I understand there is that barrier, and obviously from a population size, like, people will argue like it's less money. It's obviously harder to create a global brand when the starting size is small.
Yeah.
I understand all those sort of factors that people talk about, but also, like, if you look at other examples in sport, we punch above our weight astronomically in terms of that.
Yeah.
And they suffer from the same relative issues.
Yeah.
I think more of it's just like it's a bit of a lag factor. So, you know, teams only moved to gaming houses 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Money's only just started to really come into this. You know, teams are now getting high performance coaches, all that sort of stuff. So
Yes.
I think it's more of a lag, and as a result, we haven't seen much international. But see what happens in 10 years' time once the playing field starts leveling.
Terry, I think you and I, and with Lewis and with Steve, we've had this conversation
With all
a
our
lot,
staff.
whether we wanted to or not.
Yeah.
And I think we're both on the same page here, very much along the lines of what Andrew said regarding sport.
Yeah, I was about saying we need stupider guests because that was exactly what we're thinking. God damn it.
Crap.
I'm on the ball.
T-Ball's position, as he's written in here, he can't be with us physically, but he is here in chat.
Yay.
Thanks, T-Ball. His position is it's the time put in. You can get all the international opportunities you want, but unless you go back and put in the hard yards, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
And salaries being the main issue there, because
Yeah.
when you're looking at players that still have to work,
Yeah.
that's a big issue.
Yeah, it's like the SANFL boys. Yeah, they've still worked,
Yeah.
like, they work full-time jobs or part-time jobs, and they've still got to go to training 3 times a week, then they've got their games.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Or like
Absolutely.
I was talking the other night with Steve, and I actually had this discussion with my grandmother a couple of weeks ago
Lena
about.
Brand, I do love her.
Yeah,
I
so
legit, I
Grandma
do love
Westbrook,
her.
she's lovely. So
Oh, Westbrook.
Westbrook, with mum's side,
very good.
But we're talking about esports and these limitations,
Hmm.
and most people don't know, but up until 2001, there weren't salaries in the AFL.
No.
And Nigel Smart, in his premiership years as VP,
Yeah.
actually worked full time at Toyota.
Yep. I remember hearing that on a podcast.
Yeah, not a lot of people remember that.
Yeah.
And so, and if you look at AFL now,
Yes.
compared to AFL going back 15 to 20 years ago,
Yeah.
Yep.
it is a vastly different game. Not
Yeah.
only with commercialisation, but also the time and dedication that these players can put in. And still, the players invest in the future as well. You've got players that are doctors, veterinarians, podiatrists.
Yep.
And that's just to name 3 on Adelaide Football Club.
Yeah.
You know, from in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That even when there were salaries, they were still studying.
Yeah.
They were doing medical degrees.
They knew for a fact that their sporting careers weren't going to last them 20, 30 years.
You're not
so-
going to play footy
No.
when you're 40.
No.
You know,
Right.
you're
If
not
you
going to
do,
play
it's very-
basketball when you're 40 unless you're Kobe Bryant. You know?
And God's sakes, retire.
Oh, he did. He did. Remember?
He'll come back.
Yeah. Well, Michael
He
Jordan
will.
did.
Yeah. He will.
I think there's so many factors that play into Australia's success internationally.
Yes.
That yes, we recognise that location is something.
Yeah, it is.
SK over in Brazil for CS:GO.
Yep.
They have won titles. They won IM Sydney 2017. They've done very well since then.
Yeah.
But they're isolated as well.
Yeah.
They're from Brazil. So
No,
they
I
put in the
agree.
hard yards and they got there.
Absolutely.
There are other factors, and I think it comes across. There's other factors that come in here, like what game you play.
Yes.
We know for a fact that the Chiefs Rocket League team scrims against North American teams.
Yeah.
Wow.
They play on 200 ping, but they scrim against North American teams.
Yep.
Because in Rocket League, that ping is manageable. You certainly feel it, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But
But you can deal with it.
you can deal with it.
You can
200
deal with
milliseconds isn't that bad. And when you're trying to combat playing people that are a lot faster than you,
Yes.
and then you have to act 200 milliseconds faster than that, they have to overcompensate a little bit, but that then translates into their play when they move internationally. They don't have ping.
Yeah.
You know?
Then all of a sudden everything's fast reflex. It just becomes more natural.
That's
No,
right,
It just
you know.
becomes natural.
There's a
Training
discussion of that. Exactly, you know. And then all of a sudden they can jump higher, they can soar. Whereas in CS:GO, that's going to be different.
Yeah.
200 milliseconds is
It's
a
everything.
long time in CS.
It's everything.
It's
It's
the
a
difference.
fortnight.
Yeah, it's the difference between 2 bullets being fired and when a kill can be had in one
Yes.
with an AK or an AWP.
Yes.
Or as Steve said, there's a difference between a sniper being in spawn and leaving it.
Yeah.
You know, and getting to a position quick enough to get the pick.
Yep.
It's a big difference. You're not going to be able to.
Steve, be quiet.
He was meaning Ian, as in sniper from ESL, having another bloody meme. But it's actually true.
Yeah. No. Yeah. 100%.
And so it is a consideration. I
Yeah.
think that Lewis's point of this discussion was to get that discussion happening publicly and going, and also recognise that you can't just blame everything on that. If
Yep.
you've got a team that's not putting in the effort to train,
Yeah.
and they can't even win domestically,
Well,
then you
yeah.
can't say, oh, well, it's our internet infrastructure and
I mean,
everything else.
we
Because
can't beat around the bush. Our internet is a joke.
it is.
It's a joke. But at the same
Absolutely.
time, I mean, like you brought up with the AFL, if you take the AFL where they are in 2001 and you take esports and then line it back up, like I think as you, Andrew said, like in 10 years, be up par.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It's just because
We're just
everyone's
a little behind.
It's because everyone's whinging now. We want success now. So no, just put in the hard yards. It's fine.
Sandman telling Steve to shut up. He wants to be on the show, sit on the desk. We don't want him here, Sandman, because he's most often shirtless, and that's against Twitch terms of service. But there has been Snapshot has been saying a lot in here, disagreeing or debating with Tibor on the fact of playing. He plays CGI, PUBG as part of a team. They're constantly playing against the same players. So there's a skill cap. And it's hard to get better when you're always versing the top players in the same region. EU always versus NA, plus the ping is not as bad, so they can actually play against each other.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but there are
Yeah.
also some stop gaps against that. So, like, you're seeing in League of Legends, like, okay, there's a talent shortage. We've got import slots. Let's look at that financially, and that's how that
Yeah.
sort of happens along the line.
Yep.
And then, obviously, the whole point of if you're a top team and you're not innovating, those things, you're not going to stay a top team. Like, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, like, that's a core fundamental skill you need to have. So,
Agreed.
Yeah.
and also, that's why you have boot camps. Go to Korea for in your off season, whatever. Like that's why League of Legends teams are doing it.
Yeah.
So
And
I do
this,
understand
This comes
that,
back into what
but-
you're saying as well as financing.
Yeah.
We are behind still. We are still a developing region when it comes to
Definitely
esports,
Yes.
and people fail to see this.
Yeah.
They think that we need to be at an A spot right now. It's like, no, we don't.
We'd-
we need
we'd
to be
love
where
to.
we are relative.
We'd love to be there, but we're
Absolutely.
not. It's just Like, it's the non-endemics we brought up. Like, was it a couple of weeks ago, coming in, getting burnt, then leaving and not coming back? Non-endemics coming in have to be very, very careful with their money.
Yeah.
So they're treading water at the moment. They're scared of it.
You know, Snapshot saying always practice, 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 but there are new and up-and-coming teams in the region, and there's always new ones in EU and NA due to the amount of people there. There is a circle to it, and of course there is. But at the end of the day, location is a factor. It cannot be the excuse.
Yeah.
Correct.
There are so many more things that go into having a top-tier skilled team than just, oh, we can't play against the top in the world. Because that's why you get the mid-season invitational in League of Legends.
If population and location thing, China and India would win every event ever in the world just on statistics.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And we wouldn't have Australian basketballers drafted into the NBA. We wouldn't have an amazing cricket team because statistically it'd be impossible.
Yep.
But have more debate. Flame us because that's what we're used to. We're horrible people here at the Esports
It's been a while
Show
since
and we
we've
don't
been-
care.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, well Andrew's good. but-
2/3 are willing to be flamed. done.
Moving forward, it's a topic that we've had. The esports just keeps going on a revolving wheel at the moment.
Is the
where-
gavel getting brought out?
No gavel yet. It's here, but it's
He said yet, boys and girls.
it'll stay there for now. Gfinity has announced the 5 draft players for each esport. So the top 5 players from the competitor cups that we've had
Okay.
have been announced based
Cool.
on their points.
Yes.
For CSGO, Rocket League, and for Street Fighter.
Okay.
Right, yep.
And that's all good. You've got them here.
Yep.
Fantastic.
With the real questions being asked, Touch asking is saying Breaker's getting drafted by the Chiefs. Heard it here first. Chiefs asking what's the Shui capability like, and honestly, that's the things that need to be known.
Yeah, that is crucial.
But point that Tibor would like to make, and would argue it till he's blue in the face, they still don't have 6 franchises. They have 2 right now. So currently we have, and I think it wasn't last week, but maybe the episode before that, episode 19,
Yes. Yes.
where we talked about the fact that we can't actually have the draft happen.
Yes.
These players cannot be drafted
Yes.
unless there are teams to draft them into.
So in other words, Gfinity are going to, sort of like how there is in CGPL at the moment, there's August. So we have August 1, August 2, August 3, August 4, the second coming of August. Yeah, so it's literally at the moment they've dug themselves a hole.
I mean, it looks good for Avant and Chiefs at the moment because all the picks are for them. So Dash is
Avant
right.
might win something.
Avant's going to win the draft.
Not CSGO though.
Yeah, look, we're still waiting.
Yeah.
It is. That's the point there. All 8 series clubs will be locked in before the draft. Was the point to be made? Lewis made that last
Do we
week.
know when the draft is?
We do not,
Okay, so it could
because
be
we do not know when the
soon-
teams are going to be locked
so
in.
it's a soon TM.
It is a soon TM.
Okay,
I think we will see this before Valve brings out Half-Life 3, but
Actually,
that
I was going,
timeline's pretty broad. Look, at the end of the day, we want to just see. We want to see it happen. Like,
it's kind of like, remember how we were with Overwatch League? It's
Yeah.
like, when is it going to happen? Then bam. Oh, there it
and
is.
you watch. Overwatch League has happened. We've had nothing but good things to say about it, except for when stupid players do stupid shit and say stupid things.
Yes.
So, like, we want to be positive about this thing.
Yes. Didn't we get tweeted out why are you guys so negative all the time?
Yeah.
Can't
Because
see
of
why.
this shit.
Could not see why at all.
Like, look, like.
But
no,
it's for us. We want
it's-
actual news to report on.
They're just a bunch of fans at a desk, really, to be honest. Just want good shit to happen.
As Tibor said, don't you need full teams as well? So, like, not only do the clubs need to be announced for the franchises, they actually should have full teams before they draft a player. To
Wasn't that
be
one of the
viable.
things? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they've got to have a full team of the professional players, then they'll draft an extra one.
Ah,
Yeah, that was one
Or
of the
however
things.
they do the draft.
That was one of the things. It was
Right.
like, we'll
Because
have,
we had a comparison
Yeah.
between UK and the complaints around the FIFA.
that's the one, yeah.
With the best ranked FIFA player in the world.
Yeah.
Being drafted into a club and being
I don't
left
want to
as
be a
sub.
sub. He didn't want to be, he thought he was better
Yeah.
than being a sub. It's like, well, you're not a professional yet.
Yeah, but
Just be thankful.
let us know what you think. When do you think we're going to actually know who the other 4 franchises are and who
2052.
are they going to be? We predict that it would make sense for Legacy to be the Adelaide spot. I think Andrew will agree with me on that.
yeah, I'm confident in that one.
Yeah,
Not
makes sense.
Just makes sense, really.
I mean, Adelaide Crows, it wouldn't make sense for them to be the Northern Territory Legacy.
You never know with Gfinity, to be honest.
Well,
You never know.
we'll see. We'll keep you updated.
We'll order pick a side without having.
Oh,
Melbourne.
order, like, don't
Ding.
start with the order thing, man, because just,
Yeah.
they've got so many teams
These are the
playing the
questions
same games
we
in
want
different countries.
answered, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. We're just going to have to wait. The last announcement was April, that more info will start coming out.
We've had maybe a paragraph.
We'll see. So we're looking forward
Just-
to it. Long story short. Having a look here though, and moving on, let's go back to CSGO because we've had the WESG CSGO.
Yes.
It was a $1.5 million prize pool.
Oh, that one.
Fnatic won with $800,000 going to them.
That's insane.
It's not bad, is
That's
it?
not a bad payday.
Let's talk about viewership here, comparing
Okay.
the E-League Major to WESG. Prize pool, it was larger for WESG, $500,000 larger, a good 50%. Including Chinese viewers was around a third of the viewership of what the E-League Major got. Almost 900,000 viewers for the E-League Major and just over 300,000 for WESG.
Yep.
Not including the Chinese viewers though. It's a lot more dire.
It
If you
is.
took out the Chinese viewers, you still had 400,000 on E-League
Yep.
to almost 15,000 on WESG. The peak at WESG only got less than a third of the overall peak for the E-League Major. The question is here, why does this not have the viewership?
Don't know.
That's my answer.
I literally don't know.
Like,
I cannot give you the answer. 'Cause
there's debate to be had. Till time laughing at Chinese viewer stats.
it reminds me of the League of Legends, was it World's Final?
Yep.
They're like, take away the Chinese viewers. Let's not do that.
No. Look, WSG started off, and we talked about it last week, having some issues with the hotel. Andrew, you might not have seen it, but
No.
the initial hotel they booked for all of the players, and it was something like 500
people.
people
Yeah,
that
500
they had
people.
booked for.
And it was
That hotel cancelled,
Pretty bad.
so then had to find a second hotel, and the replacement hotel they found
Was the hostel from Hostel?
it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
There was wooden support beams in random hallways holding up ceilings. There was mould. It was disgusting.
They ended up crowdfunding.
They,
Wasn't one team crowdfunded to get their own
Yes,
hotel?
Miss Harvey's
That's the one,
team were able to crowdfund and get that, and basically their community bought them their hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And WSG fixed it. We want
Yeah.
to clarify. They fixed it. They got onto it immediately, but it kind of wasn't good enough. They outlined that, look,
let
they
it
had a
feel
tour
like,
of the facility, but it was very much a guided tour to make sure they didn't see shit. So,
It's kind of like taking media into Russia or North Korea.
exactly. Lineberg asking, is that Steve constantly screaming in the background? That's actually
No.
people here for AEM that are already at the studio. So it
Yes.
was good charts coming from Tibor from Esports Charts. Of course, we always take these charts with a bit of a pinch of salt because
Yeah.
we're not getting the viewership stats handed to us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
I
one of
think
those-
overall for WSG, look, that was a problem at the start. But it's a different sort of play. For
Yeah.
a lot of the regions, it's not like watching the E-League Major, where you've got all of the top teams playing. It's different because it's geo-locked. And so, like, we had Order go over there
That's
and
right,
play.
and that was
but
split.
They had
Yeah.
Burn and Malta play for them. Burn
That's
from
right.
Greyhound,
And
Malta
then
from
Malta
Chiefs.
Chiefs, yeah. That's right.
You had the Parallax boys go over, which was a
representing
mixture
of-
throwback
yeah,
for New Zealand.
yeah,
They
that's
went
right.
over there and competed. So, like,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
not your traditional esports comp for
No.
CSGO at the top end.
No.
So even though it's got a 50% larger prize pool,
Which is great.
which is amazing,
It's fantastic.
you don't get the same results in terms
No.
of viewership.
Absolutely not.
But, my friends, that's enough of that. Let's have a talk about equality in esports as we have 3 white men sitting on this and a show prepared by a white man. Let's
We're the
have
experts in
a
this topic,
talk.
aren't we?
Excuse me,
we
I'm gonna express my white male privilege here.
Now, there was a few tweets that went out. Space Cat Gal was one that Sapphire addresses here, but there was also another from Marissa Roberto that eventually got deleted. In
And
our
so it should have
lifetime,
been.
will we see regulated prize pool equality? Now, Sapphire
Why?
is amazing.
Yes, she is.
I look up to
She's
this
fantastic.
woman. She is a staple of the esports industry
Yes.
globally.
100%.
And you can read her tweet there. 200 co-ed tournaments competed in.
Yes.
Any woman can play in any event.
Yep.
150k women-only event in NA.
Yep.
25 women entered.
Yep.
So let's. I want to take this because just parroting what's being said here,
Okay. There's literally
There
there's part of me
are
that wants to plead the
opportunities.
fifth on this one.
there are opportunities.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
That is, no one's denying that. And when it comes to prize pools,
Yes. That's decent.
perfect example
Yes.
is the Australian Open.
Yes.
I was going to bring up
Yeah?
the exact same. I was
Andrew,
just
you
give
know
it-
this.
Just give it time. Just not. Let's all play together. Let's stop.
Yeah.
Stop jabbing the knife into everyone's throat. Like just.
Yeah.
No need to fire shots. Like let's have a talk. Like okay, there's an underrepresentation at the moment. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's work and build
Yeah.
to get that going.
Yep.
You know,
Now-
there will come a point where there'll be ridiculous amounts of money in male esports, and let's subsidise. Like I have no problem with that. It's just it's always just really vulgar topic, and I hate it. It shouldn't be.
No, that's right. And
100%.
it's a topic that a lot of people don't want to address because we're also scared of the backlash.
I'm not.
I don't have, if I had more time, I would have grabbed him. That is the phrase I have on this show.
Yep.
Red Eye actually debated with the person that Sapphire was referring to and the tweet that Sapphire was referring to,
Yes.
as did a lot of women in esports, debated saying, because there was this other tweet was asking for calls for why don't teams have one woman per team? Why don't they? They should be recruiting women.
Well,
And
no.
women in esports were saying, why would they recruit a woman to be a pro player if there are better pro players? Why just have a token woman? And they even women like Sapphire were saying, I wouldn't want to be a token woman.
No,
I
you
want
just-
to be on that team
You,
because
you,
I'm
you end
on
up in
that
set
team.
dressing. You end up being set dressing, the one that's going to be like, the team photo where you've got like, say, 5, they're going to be the one. This is the center with a nice little sponsor, and that's it.
Yeah.
If your skill isn't up to par with the rest of the team, you drag that team down.
And
And then you'll cop flack for the rest of the team, then you'll cry sexism or whatever.
this is, at the end of the day, no one, there are a vocal, toxic minority of people that will trash talk female streamers
I
and
think that's the problem.
That's all it
pull,
is.
Pull that away. It's like we both want the same goal here. Like,
yeah.
And I always hate that this turns into just some massive just shit show.
Yeah.
And like, that's not the way to really describe it. It's like, okay, like we talked about before, like with the whole people expecting too much. It's like,
Yes.
esports is still in its infancy. Like there are plethora of problems, right?
Yes.
Like let's just work on building them together slowly. Like let's get those foundations, and then from there,
Yeah.
we can build on it.
Dash asked a really good question in the chat. Are there more female-only tournaments than male-only tournaments in esports?
I don't know of any male-only tournaments. I don't know of any.
That
But
is
then
my
again, I'm a
answer.
cis white male and I wouldn't know anything and I'm the cause of all problems.
Correct.
I'll take my privilege and my shame elsewhere.
So that's the
Yeah,
thing is
sure.
that get out of here. We don't need you anymore. Terry's gone, guys. It's just Andrew and I and Tibor in chat. He's actually walked off. At the end of the day, like Andrew said, we want the same thing. Is we just want everybody's got opportunities here. Esports just looks to people that can compete. As we've seen with Overwatch contenders, the legacy side is actually captained by a woman. Strabella was an amazing support back in League of Legends.
She was, yeah.
Yes.
She was one of the first people I followed in League of Legends because she talked a lot about what was going on in League. She played very well.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was great. She
Yeah.
was, there's nothing more to be said about her. And now she's in Overwatch instead.
Yes.
She pivoted games.
Yes.
She's there because she's good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's not there because she's a token woman.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what everybody wants.
Yep.
Yeah, no, exactly right.
At the end of the day, I think we need to take these, like Red Eye did, like a lot of the ladies that are professionals in esports, take these as moments to educate. Because if we get the pitchforks out straight away, we'll just fuel the fire. So
Yep.
take these as moments to educate, and eventually you're probably just going to get blocked because you won't fit their narrative.
Yes. Welcome to the internet, ladies and gentlemen.
But we're doing pretty good for time tonight. We've got about 8 minutes and not much more to go through. So this
Oh,
is probably
geez, done
the
well.
best show we've ever had in terms of runtime.
all me.
CSGO, this week it was announced that they had moved as a game title to be the second in total prize pool 1. We do have a graphic for that. You can have a look there.
Oh, hello.
Dota 2 still sits at the top.
That's largely crowdfunded, if I remember, Dota 2.
It is,
Correct.
it is. And CSGO is in here now as well. So 137 million for Dota 2, over 890 tournaments. A lot more
Wow.
tournaments in CS, over 3,089. We've had 50 million.
It's not bad.
That's a pretty big number. It's only just past League of Legends now. So
Yeah, Riot will get this information and go, you know what? Hold my beer.
I'm putting it on.
I might be seeing the NALCS salaries lately.
So, look, good on CS.
No, that's amazing. It's amazing.
There's not much more to be said about this, but congratulations, CSGO.
it's
Well
great.
done on having more prize pooling over events than League has so far. But that does bring us to the wrap-up of our show. For upcoming, we've got some new things coming on, of course. We've got AEM this weekend. Friday night won't be open here, it'll just be played. Friday night is streamed by Manic and by
Matt? You got Matt?
Matt.
Matt?
Yeah, Manic
Matt.
Monday and Matt.
Yep.
Thank you. the CGP LAN coming up in a couple of weeks, of course, followed by the Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition Open LAN.
Yes.
We've got IM Sydney later on in the year. Make sure you grab tickets to that because they are
Gosh.
selling. And that is ESL AUNZ Champs Finals. That'll be
Yes.
later on.
Yep.
Also, there is the Zemo PUBG event. Now, I've seen a lot of PUBG players, competitive PUBG players, talking about this. Details have been a little convoluted. We were really set on the
caught
back
off
foot last week.
Last week we had no idea.
Like,
we had
I
it in
was
the chat
trying to
box,
keep
went,
up with it as much as we could.
Yep.
But there has been more information come out. The
Yes.
Australian Esports League is helping them out
Yes.
with qualifiers and stuff that's based in Sydney.
Correct.
We have an Australian qualifier that's coming up. Then the finals between the Chinese, like the Asian contingent
Yes.
that have
This
qualified
time.
in the
Yep.
Australian are being played at the Melbourne Convention Exhibition Centre.
Okay, so
and
that's-
that's being
yep.
played out, and this is my biggest issue with this, over the 25th, 26th and 27th of April. It starts on Anzac Day. And Anzac Day is on a Wednesday. It is a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I do know that.
Because
Yeah,
why
right.
not do it during midweek when, you know, everyone's at work? Like, I'm guessing it'll be broadcast during, like, business hours, I'm assuming.
Yeah, full days, three
Mate,
full
it's
days.
cheaper to run.
Yeah.
God
So,
sakes.
an oversight on that because it was organised and planned by a Chinese company in Zemo.
Yep.
They obviously did not recognise that we would have a public holiday, one of our many that we have in our fine country.
Or that go to work
On the
on Wednesday,
25th.
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. So instead of being a weekend event, it is done then.
Mm-hmm.
But well, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's a good event. It
It
is
will be.
single-handedly
Yeah.
the largest PUBG prize pool so far globally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
it'll
wow.
be a
That's
good event.
impressive.
So PGL is $100,000 US.
Yes.
This is 150,000 Australian. Now, at the time of the announcement, 100,000 US was 128,000 Australian-ish. So this event is, as far as I'm aware, the single biggest. Make sure you stay posted to it. Keep an eye out for Zemo. There's still yet to announce talent for casting and commentary on it and analysis.
Yes.
There's still a lot of details to come through, so stay tuned. Other than that, we have the In Memoriam Award this week.
In Memoriam.
T-Ball's not dead, but he's not here.
He may as
He's
well
in the
be.
chat. He's dead to us. That's right. So Terry has
T-Ball,
the
we
honour.
hardly knew ye.
Hardly. We got
Mate,
sick of you frequently.
There you go.
But this is the e-gaming award now. We got
Yes.
a lot of flack last week for our e-gaming award.
Why would the e-gaming award cop flag?
I know it's
T-Ball has
it
the
is
finest selection of e-gaming awards.
It is the one moment of the show where we try to be as light-hearted as possible. Yeah, we'll throw some harsh opinions, but
Oh, yes.
it's literally a joke. This segment.
Here's the point.
But the e-gaming award this week, we decided last night.
Oh, did because I still haven't seen
Because
this clip yet.
it is a wonderful clip. Our good friends over at ESL Australia have been producing top quality content for a long time.
Oh God, I stopped
And
brainstorming
one
it.
of our favourite things is this clip.
G'day guys, welcome back. I've just had half a donut. I didn't even get to finish it in that
Half?
break. Half a donut indeed, yes.
What happened to the other half?
Well, it's still sitting right there. I'm going to eat it when we get into game. But no one will know that because they won't be able to see it. Regardless,
If I start talking for a long period of time and there's like some
And you
suspicious
just-
noises,
Go-
that's
go on.
because Jordan's got to
That's me.
get a donut into him.
Streamline picking up Mirage, not half Mirage, not half a donut. They got the full donut out of that first map. And I mean, it wasn't really a donut, was
The
it?
full
Because it was-
donut experience.
It was 16-11. It wasn't 16-0. So I'm not even sure why I'm trying to bring donuts into this analogy. I was going to try and have some donut. I'm currently holding it in my hand right now.
Look, would you like me to talk
But
for a
that
bit so you
round-
can donut?
That round went far too quickly, just like my break.
That round, I guess you could say, was faster than the speed of donut.
Oh, faster than the speed of donut.
All right, well,
Let's
look.
see how fast the fastest speed of donut is going to be, Tim, as I'm going to devour this. Okay, we're on the
Alright.
clock. 1 minute 53.
All right, and he's starting at a minute 50. All right, we'll see how long it takes Jordan to finish this donut until. We're going to go until when he speaks again. Either way, top banana for the CTs. Double stack on A, and Jordan's laughing, but there's no more donut.
I think you missed it, Tim. Because you don't have program feed, but I've got program feed. We should focus on this game right now. I'm
Was
still
there,
eating.
was there a cut to you eating
Yeah,
donut?
yeah. How rude.
They always do this to you. It was like there was another broadcast we were doing where you were changing into a pair of suspenders, and we had like a picture in picture
I had
of
no
you doing
pants
that.
on.
And it's at this point.
Probably the most sensual production to come out of ESL. Thank you to Lewis for putting that together and for making sure we slowed down that last piece of Jordan really getting that finger-licking sugary goodness from his donut. That is our e-gaming award for the week because it was brilliant. Thank you to the production of ESL Australia for providing that top quality moment.
Good trophy, isn't it?
Oh, that is a great trophy.
It is.
That is a
It's
SATA HDD reader stuffed with duct tape and Corsair RAM.
Yes.
Powerful.
Not sponsored by Corsair, but it could be.
No.
Shut up, man.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in this week. We are done, and look at that. It's probably the best we've ever done for time.
Go team.
A massive thank you to Terry Badger O'Neill on the end. Make sure you go follow his Twitch channel. I don't care about what URL it is, but follow it anyway. Thank you so much again, Terry, for being on the show. Andrew, a massive thank you to you for
Thanks
being
for having
here.
me.
Andrew Ray, make sure you go follow Snowball Esports. Don't follow his personal account because he doesn't post anything relevant, but definitely follow.
I retweet Snowball, mate. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. He retweets his own content.
He does.
But Snowball Esports, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. And thank you to me for being here because I'm great. We've got our unsung hero down the end on production, Stephen Sams. We are going to leave you this week, my friends. Award-winning unsung hero.
He's now on Tinder as well, ladies.
We're going to leave you with this. Before we do, actually, I have a sneak peek for you. You don't get to see anything. But you may have noticed on the Esports Show Twitter over the last week, Lewis has been running a competition. It is the Global Twitch Emote Face-Off.
Why
Yeah.
was it Kappa and Poggers on the same side of the draw?
Look,
RNG,
it
man.
was,
RNG.
It was an RNG bracket.
RNG bracket, man.
He organised it all. He went legit and organised it all through an RNG bracket generator, and
RNG.
unfortunately they caught the short straw. So the
unfortunate.
tough call had to be made. But the finals of that are coming up to be decided on what the best global Twitch emote is. Once that's concluded, though, we're going to be getting a little bit spicy by having the best Australian esports org off. We're going to have basically the same thing run through each day. It's going to be a graphic updated with 2 polls in the comments or in the replies. Make sure you vote. We're going to be doing the same thing with fan submissions of the best esports orgs in the region, and they will be facing off for a community vote to see who is actually the best. So make sure you stay tuned. Mindfreak, maybe. We'll see how they go. Or maybe they'll be paired against the Chiefs in the first round. That's it for us tonight. We've finished just over time. Thank you so much for joining us. Steve, do we actually have a video to play us out?
No video, Lewis fucked up.
Okay, Lewis buggered it up and we don't have a video to play for you, so you're just going to have to order up a new video for next week.